So I was asked from a mentor of mine if I needed to explain to people how to make big money in the specialty packaging space, what would I tell them? And I think the couple of critical things kind of jumped out at me. Yes, you're going to see a lot of product specific things here that you may or may not be aware of when it comes to specialized packaging. But the important thing that it's way more beyond the packaging is having a conversation as a packaging professional with the end user, with the customer, with whoever you're talking with, but getting to a decision maker. There's nothing that's a bigger waste of time than be in this space and do the song and dance from a packaging perspective to try to get in the door with a company or sell a company type of packaging and be dealing with somebody who's not a decision maker. It's a huge waste of time. And all too often, packaging professionals or newbies or somebody that's not seasoned goes in there and literally throws all this out there to somebody who can't even comprehend what we're talking about. So first things first, if you want to make big money in the specialty packaging space, you absolutely positively have to deal with a decision maker. And if you're not, if that person on the phone or on the other side of that email or whoever it is not giving you what you need to give you a warm and fuzzy that they're a decision maker, or you can come right out and ask them, are you part of the decision-making process? If they're not giving you that warm and fuzzy that they are, run. Be done with it. It's a complete waste of time. Use your efforts to get around them, beyond them, use contacts to hopefully find the decision maker, because selling specialty packaging, this is not off the shelf. This is not a commodity item. You need to have in-depth conversations with the customer from the standpoint of machinery. How are they going to fill, and how are they going to store, and how are they going to merchandise? And is this going to go into a freezer? Is this going to be in an oven? All these kind of things are absolutely critical when it comes to trying to find the decision maker. But once you do, this tells you how sophisticated this stuff is and why, if you want to make big money in the specialty packaging space, don't give this stuff away. This is highly sophisticated packaging from a film standpoint, from a component standpoint, from a environmental standpoint, from a brand building standpoint, all this stuff. And I'm amazed at how many packaging people give this stuff away at 1% and 2% profit margin because they were taught that they've only sold commodity items. This is nonsense.
I hope you like this content. If you want more of it, I put together a specialized packaging alliance, a group of packaging professionals, if you will, that are in different facets of this industry. We talk strategy, sales, and marketing. I'll also be answering your questions. If you want to join, click the link below. Thanks.
So first and foremost, you've got to find the decision maker and you got to have the courage to get in the door. Then you've got to be able to ask the questions to find the decision maker, and then you've got to also ask a lot of questions about how the product is being used. All this type of packaging that's out here, all these kind of things, you have to understand how they're going to use them. And then you have to get into the next piece of this, is asking questions for what they're currently using, okay? Doesn't do you any good to pitch something to them if you don't know what they're currently using, or what are they trying to get away from. Are they trying to use, like in this particular case, a pouch here that has an integrated handle so that mom and pop or whoever's buying the kitty litter doesn't have to literally throw it over their shoulder? Or you need to understand, are they currently using a aluminum can for their paint and they want to have an option that's better for the environment or ships flat or whatever? And when you know these things, this is part of the process to think through here and then be able to price accordingly. If you know, in this particular case with the paint, that they're using an aluminum can, there's a couple things to think of. The aluminum cans, it doesn't take a lot to find out how much they're paying. You're not asking them. You can go online and find out how much aluminum paint cans are. Then you have to understand how much space they take up in a truck, in a warehouse, on the line. And now you're suddenly talking about something here that is probably going to be about 85% less cost from the get-go, recyclable from the get-go, ships flat, stores flat, can be filled from flat, doesn't have to necessarily have high-speed automated equipment all over the place. What I'm getting at is being able to understand what separates this packaging here for you to be able to position this to your customer. The point is that if you know that this is 85%, 90% less expensive than aluminum can, don't give this stuff away. And I mean, it's amazing to me. But the point is I could go through all these different options here and show you all kinds of different types of packaging. What I want you to see here, this is something that I think is very telling when it comes to dealing with rigid packaging versus flexible. Now, this says it right here. A pallet load of buckets, I guarantee you can get 360 to 500 flexible pouches on a pallet flat. So it just shows you how much opportunity out there when you get to the right customer. You get to the decision maker and you understand what they're trying to do. You understand what their objectives are. There's all kinds of packaging that's out here that I can blow your mind with that a lot of people have never seen before. And then as a packaging professional, it's up to you to find those particular customers. And this doesn't have to necessarily be a food product. How many times have we seen chemicals that are hooked up with garden hose, whether it's Miracle Grow or some of these other things? But look at what you can do here. We actually have a molded fitment that can fit inside of a pouch, and it doesn't have to be this size pouch. It can be any size. What I'm getting at is suddenly you are not dealing with a rigid container for the chemical. You've got something flexible that ships flat, stores flat, costs a lot less, etc. All of this stuff, and I can go through one thing after another, but all of this stuff happens to be pain solving or some way for you to attract that customer using the packaging. Something that's user-friendly, something that's actually lower cost, something that's better for the environment, something that's easier for their customers to use, something that helps them build their business. There's all these different things that are out here, and a lot of people, especially in the packaging space in the US, have no clue this stuff even exists. Take a look at this. This was originally designed obviously for liquid detergent. However, because we're using pods now, that a lot of this stuff, but here's a pouch that has an integrated, a molded pour spout or a measuring cap. You take this off, this is a measuring cap. You can't see it, but there's little indentations on there and notations. But what I'm getting at is who needs a measuring cap in their product? If it's not liquids, okay, let's talk about chemicals. Let's talk about fertilizer. Let's talk about how many times have we dealt with protein powder and those rigid cans that are out there, and you trip over those things. Now you've got something here that is using a lot less material, a lot better for the environment, but it's how you position this to your customer. How you get in front of them makes all the difference. Let me show you another example here. This is what's known as a bag-in-box. Many of you have seen these. You can see this. This is a bag-in-a-box. These are very, very highly sophisticated types of film with a fitment. As you can see, a fitment is on here that is sealed on there. So now that can fit inside of this carton, inside of this box for wine, juice, oil, really anything. But what I'm getting at here is this is something that's very unique, very different, not something that everybody can do, but you can. If you want to make big money in the packaging space, you have to focus on specialized packaging. You have to know the customer, you have to understand their needs, you have to be dealing with a decision maker, and most importantly, you have to have the courage to not quit. Okay, I can show you another 20 things here, but that's not the point. If you want to make big money in the packaging space, you gotta have the courage, you gotta have the gumption to get in the door. You're gonna get pounded. Maybe it'll take you 3 or 4 or 5 tries to find a decision maker, but I guarantee you, domestically here in the US, companies need specialized packaging. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to find it. They don't know who to trust. They don't know who to talk to about it. They don't know how to find different alternatives. That's you. If you want to make big money in this space, do yourself a favor, focus on specialized packaging, and you'll never look back. Now, I hope this is helpful. There's plenty more information with this, but this was a video specifically targeted to if you want to make big money, 6-7 figures a year, easy, focus on specialized packaging. The industry needs you. This has been something that has been, the last 20 years, we've eliminated or gotten rid of a ton of high-priced talent in the packaging space for commodity sales guys who took the $40,000 a year in a company car. The problem is they don't understand sophisticated packaging, and we need you. The industry needs you. Your customers need you. So I hope this is helpful. Thanks again for watching. See you. Have a good day.
I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to see more, here's another video that you can check out, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.